While the rest of the internet was busy, quite frankly, waiting for the UFO and drones to make themselves known, people, we were busy finding new drone and new UAP. Quite frankly, maybe the best UAP footage on YouTube right now. That's unidentified aerial phenomena. Maybe you heard of it, maybe you haven't. They're the lights in the sky that we're all not supposed to talk about. Yeah, we have lots of UFO footage. As I've been saying all week long, that ever since I have been covering this, there's new videos every day, and we're going to get into them right now. Now, these are possible orbs that have been spotted in Amelia County, Virginia. I want you to pay attention to these yellow lights here and not the red from the radio tower. Now, there shouldn't be yellow lights in the middle of the sky. You can tell they're pretty high up because they were around the same height as the radio tower. But as you see, some of them start disappearing in the middle of the sky whilst others start appearing. So, I mean, how do you explain that one? We know orbs can take different shapes and forms, and these UAPs and I'll say NHI, that's non-human intelligence, seem to like playing with us and using these orbs to make their presence known. The orbs generally are in energy form with plasmatic fields around them. That's just energy fields for those of you paying attention. And we can surmise that these are around, what, would you say 100 feet up? You can kind of see the skyline here of where the horizon is. Right around there, they kind of illuminate the sky. It's kind of caught on camera a bit. We're going to show it when it gets back to the start of the clip. But if you pay attention right here, when we get to the start of it, you can kind of see where the horizon line is. Yeah. Right there, right there. I might pause it. See how this is all like dark blue sky up here? Maybe it's not showing on the camera, but right here, I can see it clear as day on this monitor. This is basically flat sort of country here. It's really not flat area in Virginia. You know, some of it is. You have these people who work in Washington, D.C., who are ruining our country, folks. I can't stop doing it. The voice. If you like the voice, I think it helps. Let me know in the comment section. But as you can see, here we have our base level horizon. These drones are orbs rather, are clearly above it, actually matching almost the height of this radio tower. If I had exact coordinates, I could probably tell you what is in the area. Now, this could be I don't know how far that is away. There could be a whole valley sort of range in between. You know, it depends where you are in that state. But this was on January 14th, the year of our Lord, 2025. You know, disclosure is, I believe, moments away. Not within today, but I think we're going to see it within the next little while. It seems these drone sightings and orb sightings have been becoming more and more frequent as these drones and orbs seems to be not only located, remember how the media said it was just in New Jersey? Spoiler alert, they're everywhere, and we're going to show you right now. And this was captured on January 15th, 2025 above Salt Lake City, Utah. These UAPs have been surrounding the city. High above it, these are red UAP lights. Now, if we're going with what we understand TR-3B formation is, which is a triangular-based craft, you can see the orbs, the UAP lights, are in that formation. Could this be a TR-3B? I don't know. Usually TR-3B has one
one light in the middle. But correct me if I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong. This does follow the shape pattern, though. And oddly, this does, if you've ever watched the Phoenix Lights originally, okay, in the mainstream footage, the Phoenix Lights are basically white, yellow, orangish, right? However, when apparently they started, according to eyewitness accounts, they started out as dark red, dark orange lights that emerged from the sky in that same arrowhead pattern. Now, mind you, there were like, 15 lights? This is only 3. This could be the TR-3B that we're witnessing here, caught in Salt Lake City, Utah. Again, this was January 15th. This was only a day ago, okay? This was within the last 48 hours that people have been seeing these. And the mainstream media is completely silent. Why is that? You know, I understand there are certain news stories that have to be covered. I understand there's precedence. Okay, some news stories are a little more prioritized, and we can understand why, I guess. Well, I mean, that happens. But ever since right around just before Christmas time, this story has been completely dropped. And these UAP sightings have only increased in frequency since then, which is insane to think of. How many people have been seeing these UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, all around the globe? This isn't just located in the New Jersey area, but we're going to go back there in a sec. These have been spotted all around the country, in different countries, and even and I said the China data was going to be crazy. People, we saw an orb in China on a previous video that lit up the entire sky and was moving at like 200 miles an hour, okay? It was crazy. It was crazy, and that's a verified video. So they're out there, and I think these non-human intelligences are trying to make their presence known, or make us at least aware of them. And I think the government is going to have a harder time trying to cover this all up because, as I said, we're getting flooded with UFO videos and drone videos every single day. Now, whether this leads up to, as someone commented in this video, the alignment of planets, perhaps that's sort of an awakening for our species, and maybe these NHI will make their presence known across the board. But at this point, if you don't believe in UAP, UFO, drone, or orb, there's something probably wrong with you, because I would like someone to explain this to me. What you're going to say, it's 3 radio towers that are about, what would you say, 10,000 feet in the air? 5,000 feet in the air, and they just move slightly, and they're not even visible. They're not even visible at all, and there's no lights running up them. So planes that are flying a little low would run into them. There's no shadows being obfuscating the background of the light pollution there. Just calling out the skeptics. Okay, we're just calling out the skeptics. At this point, if you don't believe, we have presented our case very thoroughly that there's at least something weird going on. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think this is. These moving red lights, a UAP, triangle shape possibly. Ever since I was tuned into what TR-3B is, this is looking more and more like that. But as I said, all roads lead back to New Jersey. You've watched The Sopranos a bunch of times. The flying saucer you saw last year over East Rutherford, you believed in that, okay? Well, we're believing in all these drones that have emerged over New Jersey. Again, this was in the last 24 hours, people. The last 24 hours. Look how many drones there are in the sky. This one is having a little problems over here, but we have at least 4 over this ocean area. And then we got this guy coming in hot. There might even be another one up there. And these drones are just chilling out. They're actually kind of holding pattern over this area. They might even be still. See, and I told you in other videos, these aren't helicopters. Helicopters, if you've seen helicopters, they don't really generally hold the same altitude as much as this. There'll be some variance, right? Because they weigh like thousands of pounds, and it costs so much of force from the motor to propel them off the ground. But these things can basically be still in the air, which is scary. It's a scary prospect. And mind you, this was recorded within the last 24 hours. Okay? The FAA extended the flight restrictions for all drones for the 400 feet range. We covered it in a previous video. All the way to January 19th at 4:53 a.m. Now, the mainstream, I've watched it. I watched a few days ago. It might have even been a week or two ago. It was shortly after New Year's. The woman on the, I believe it was, I'm going to say it was Fox News. It was the pre-morning show, right? And they had a fill-in host, and she said, oh, it's just like the drone story in New Jersey, totally gone. But she didn't say it like that, and she acted like it's like the drones don't exist anymore. This was recorded yesterday. We have footage from the day before where there's even more, and the day before that where there's loads more. These people who are acting like this has stopped being a thing, it really hasn't. It is only exponentially grown in sightings and people seeing it. It's just the mainstream media has totally stopped covering it for some reason, and we don't know why. If this was, now one of the theories was this could be missing nuclear material, okay, that was somehow snuck into the country. Now, if you watch Sopranos, there was a whole like subplot that was alluded to in one of the later seasons that they did that at Port Newark. It's not even a plot in the show. It's just it gets mentioned once or twice. That's it. I believe it maybe just once and maybe it's twice. But they're like, whoa, that's crazy, Tone. Because they're talking about, like, you know, stuff we can't talk about. But if you're following that theory, that there is, we'll call it fissile material, right, in the area, wouldn't it have been discovered yet? Sort of, and I could see maybe the mainstream media has to keep it under wraps because it could be a security issue. But I think you'd get more warning and you'd see more boots on the ground action, sort of, so to speak. You would have these things in the sky potentially trying to detect particle emissions for radiation, right? Now you can bring up a whole map of the world where there are sensors that detect radiation emissions in the particulates, and you can actually see where there's hot zones. If there is missing nuclear material and it's not stored properly, it would be sending off some sort of, at least some of the detectors. People would be finding out about this. But you think that this would have made a little more progress, or the drones would be moving instead of just all still in this area? I mean, they are moving. Don't get me wrong. The drones are everywhere. But you think they would be like, oh, they're not in New Jersey anymore, instead of, oh, they're in New Jersey and they're looking for something. So I think that story might not be plausible. It could be plausible, but I don't know what it is. I think it is non-human intelligence. There's an entire other theory that it is from China or Iran. Now, someone even said Russia. And then I heard on the news recently, then they said if these were in Russia, if these drones were from Russia, then the whole war over there would be over. Okay? Right? Some country has snuck these in to the United States. You telling me that allegedly there's a mothership, an aircraft carrier in the Atlantic somewhere that has been launching these drones? Do you think an Iranian aircraft carrier drone mothership would make it into the middle of the Atlantic? Well, not even the middle, close to the United States, because it can't be too far, right? Say just over the horizon, and it wouldn't immediately be tracked by satellite or like engaged upon by the United States military. But it could be. So far there hasn't been any evidence to suggest that. There's been more evidence to suggest that they're UAP phenomena related, because these have been popping up all around the world. Okay, it's not just in this area. They're literally being seen everywhere. So tell me this, Mr. Newsman, are there drone motherships being sent and deployed all around the world? Okay, some of these drones don't even look the same. Some of them have different formations and are clearly differently constructed. Why would you build so many different types of... are there different manufacturers? And what was I saying about how they're all around the world? Some of them don't even act like drones, okay? Some of them act like energy orbs. Do we have an explanation for that? No. So I'm waiting for my explanation on what the heck that is. But what do you think these are? I'm leaning to drones because they have the red and green navigational light. They clearly acting like drones we've all seen. But as I said, with the FAA flight regulations, if you violate that, you could be facing severe penalties, like tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm talking possible jail time, felony for doing this. So it's not kids doing it. Maybe it is a few teenagers doing it. They don't have that many drones. No teenager has 1,000 drones, okay? And that doesn't explain the drones going to every other country, and that doesn't explain how one country or one or two countries would be sending drones to every single country around the planet, even their own. I mean, that doesn't even make sense, okay? But could I see something that's not human doing it? Could I see even AI doing that? In that case, that seems a lot more plausible. And now we have from Canada, Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Look at this. This drone is going behind these apartment buildings. Clearly, drone UFO footage.
Yeah.
And I want an explanation as to what that was, because that wasn't just water drops on the screen, as you can see. This thing's flying pretty fast, and it's not acting like an airplane. However, I want you to take a look at the horizon there, okay? That horizon would indicate that this thing isn't flying that high up. Now, the guy on the screen says they might be doing flight training. I don't think that's flight training, dude.
It looks like
that would be
maybe they're just doing
like you'd be training pretty low. Like this must be the Top Gun school if you're flying that low over a city. You're flying like, I can see a helicopter flying that low. This doesn't look like a helicopter though. This looks like it's maybe,
looks like a plane. Maybe
I don't know, a couple 100 feet over the city skyline there.
Yeah.
Now, how do we explain this? The drones and orbs at UAP are now in Canada. Okay? This thing flying across the sky scarily.
Yeah.
And they said the guy on the video, the homie on the video said it looks like a plane doing flight training. Now, I would, if you were a pilot, would you take
looks like
a
plane.
trainee
Maybe they're just doing
pilot?
flight training.
I almost said pilot. But dude, I need another coffee. Would you take a trainee pilot that low to the ground, okay? Where you're
Good shot.
maybe a couple 100 feet off of the top of these buildings? Does that seem like a responsible thing to
Maybe they're
do?
just doing flight training.
Maybe even, say it's even 1,000 feet up.
Yeah.
That's still very low. You wouldn't take a rookie pilot
Good shot.
that low necessarily. Now, could I see it flying overhead? If it's a lot higher, sure.
It looks like
This doesn't look like it's
maybe
high
they're
at
just
all.
doing flight training.
And this looks like, I can't tell
Yeah.
how far that is, the distance, right? If you were a consumer,
Shot of it.
like a kid with a drone, right? Or an adult with a drone just having fun.
It looks
Does that look like it's
maybe
a
they're just
small
doing flight
distance to
training.
you for that drone to be flying? How far away is this?
Yeah.
How far, like, that looks like it's moving at a pretty good clip
Good shot.
over a large area, fast enough that it's moving beyond the borders of what your average drone range would probably be.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's coming from somewhere over here. It doesn't look like it's above this structure here, and it looks like it's way far in the background. And we can kind of tell, too,
Looks like a
by
maybe
looking
they're
at the
just doing
lights,
flight training. Yeah.
by looking at the lights in the foreground versus how far it's moving in the background, and it looks like it's very far away. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think this one is. And the drones have made their way into Canada? That's crazy. If you have any drone footage or have any experience with these UAP drones,
Maybe they're just doing
if you've
flight
seen them, let me know in the comment section. I would gladly like to know what you guys have experienced or your stories with these drones are. Now we're moving over to Houston, Texas, January 13th. And these orb sightings over this suburban neighborhood.
See that one blinking over there?
Oh, at the bottom?
Yeah.
Now,
This is.
I don't know what this is. These are following the traits
Those
of
are not planes.
orbs and other sort of UAP phenomena,
They're like kind of.
plasmoids possibly. You have this sort of energy field emitting from it. You don't see any, and since it's sort of dusk hour, you should be seeing some more. It's still lit enough in the sky. You should be able to make some sort of shape out if it is in fact a drone or other aircraft.
Yeah. This is.
You would expect to see some sort of mechanical object around it.
not planes.
However, it doesn't look like it, and there is no sound. I want you to
like
keep
kinda-
in mind with all these videos, there's no sound emitting from these objects. They seem to, these ones in particular, seem to just seemingly blink in and out of existence here. And we see at least 3 in the sky in there. It looked like there might have even been one more that sort of emerged,
Oh, at the bottom?
Yeah. This is.
and then it disappeared.
Those are not planes.
Those are not planes. That's what the guy's saying. They're not moving that
like
fast in the sky, but then they suddenly seem to take off. The one down here just seemed to disappear, and it's just barely above the horizon. Now this is all looped over again, so it's not even in existence. But it suddenly starts popping out from around where that hydro pole is.
Oh, at the bottom?
Yeah. It disappears. Those are not planes.
Well, making our way back to New Jersey, this woman caught another orb
the beach in New Jersey.
or
This is
larger
a live
drone
cam.
on the New Jersey
I
beach
sped this
cam
up 5x,
on the
and
14th
then
of
you will see
January
what
this year.
happens. I've also
So you
included
just
the
want
normal
to pay
speed
attention to
one
this
after
light
this
here.
setup clip.
All of a
Did you
sudden it
see
makes
that?
a bright
Watch
sort of energy boost as it suddenly changes
And it's
direction.
gone. So that was a sped up clip.
And that
Here
was,
is
she said
the
that was sped up
full clip.
at 4 or 5 times
I watched
speed.
this live as it happened. This is a screenshot from my computer.
And then this is
original
the
clip, so I
actual
zoomed out a bit. And this is at
actual
completely
normal
normal
speed that
speed.
it is playing at.
Again, I witnessed this live in the moment. It is a screen recording.
She said she watched
So
it
you'll
live at the
see
time.
it flashing. This was the speed that it was going. It looked like it was just like one object after the flash, and as it shot off to the left-hand side, it looked like there was two.
And she said as it went to the left side,
you
it
can
turned,
watch this
seemed to
back,
be two
speed
different
it up,
objects,
slow it
two
down.
distinct
I want to
objects.
get your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. All of the information is on the top and bottom of the screen as well. This was a crazy catch. Again,
Now
I
this
was
could
just screen
very
recording
well
a
be
good
just an
hour
airplane
chunk,
turning
and
around
also
in,
happened
over
to
the
catch
ocean. It
this
could
one,
be.
so I'm
Don't
very,
get me
very
wrong.
thankful for that.
But I'm going to chalk it up as a drone
wanted to
so
provide
far,
the sped up version as well as the original.
or
so that's
possible
why this
orb
one
sighting.
is longer.
Have we seen
But feel
anything
free to
seemingly
hold down
light
your
up the
screen
sky
and
as
it will
bright
speed
as
it up
that?
for you.
Now
I
these
just wanted
cameras,
to
these
talk
are
about that bright flash
beach
right there.
cameras that
Do you
are
see
at the
the
beach,
reflection on the
constantly
water?
recording.
Look at it as it
And
goes
they're
to the
actually
left.
recording
You can see
night
that
vision for the most
reflection,
part.
which is so insane.
But did you see how
I don't know
bright
what it
that
is,
got?
guys. It's still happening. Today is January
That seemed to have like an
14th,
energy
2025.
pulse
This was
there for a
captured
second.
tonight at 7:26
And there it
p.m.
goes.
So watch those cams. I have the link.
It's
to
illuminating
multiple
even
cams in
the
my
ocean
bio. There's
surface
lots
there.
of activity still happening, guys. And there they go. That's
And now
where
it's
it
making
was
its way
exploding
back
to
inland.
too.
So what is
Still see that
going on
shadow?
over
Do you see
these
the
oceans
flashing
in
red
New
on
Jersey?
the
This is
water?
at Seaside Park.
And bye-bye.
It is absolutely crazy what's going on. And here is more New Jersey drone footage recorded 3 days ago by Scotty Jarvie 05.
I'm looking at a line of drones.
And he's going to point out this line of drones in the sky.
Zoom in on them. There they are. See the line of drones? 1,
Now this is typically
4.
what Starlink sort of
Going way far
looks
down.
like. Some people in different regions, it depends how close you are to the launch, or, and by close I mean close in time. The drone, or the Starlink satellites will be closer together or further apart depending on how soon after from satellite to satellite. Could this UAP be transmitting much greater length information out of our atmosphere through this incredibly powerful laser? I seem to think so. If information can be stored in light, like we know it can, as transmitted through fiber optic, which,
Don't even get me started on how people figured that technology out. Whoa.
does it not stand to reason that these non-human intelligences would have the same or greater information communication transmission technology? And would not stand to reason that a drone or UAP could transmit out of our planet such information through these laser emissions? That's what I'm thinking this is. I don't see any physical damage in the area. It's, again, the New Jersey drones. Let me know in the comment section what you're thinking, and I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.